Oh, that was a little too quick, but what's going on, y'all? This is Travis. We're back with another hero's journey, and in this journey we're checking out the old Merrick Channel Islands Pod Mod, the old trusty. These guys have been around a while, like your boy. I'm gonna claim it, one of the first people to really get into these, and this was even back in 2006. So this board is nearing 20 years old. Probably should have looked up the exact date it was released, but I've had this board through its various iterations. There was actually first the Pod, which is made again by Channel Islands and shaped by Merrick. My whole existence as a surfer has been shaped a lot around this board. And over the years, I always had one in my quiver. You can see it in the corner over here. It's a little beat up. Towards the end of last year, I realized that it just felt lifeless. It was dead. She's done. So I've been eyeing this Torq edition of the Pod Mod, which is essentially the similar shapes. There's only a few stock dimensions, and this is the 6'2" one. And Torq, it's epoxy like extreme. So this is the newer version, which I've only ridden a handful of times. And we're gonna dive into a recent shred session while I kind of go over some pros and cons of the Pod and the Pod Mod shape. So we're starting off. Here's where the Pod Mod really excels. You see that little flat spot? You can just hop through little flat spots like that. It'll just let you hop on by, Huntington hop, and you can schwack it again. Here's where it excels too, on like kind of a little wedgy lip. You can really throw the board up, which is nice. And new life hack, I'm kind of riding it as a twin fin with a stabilizer. So it's riding a lot looser than three fins. This is a nice wave too. Really the board ideally is a tri-fin. It comes as a quad and a tri. But as you'll see on this wave, roundhouses on this board is where it really excels too, because this has so much weight. You can really slowly turn it around and hit it, which is really fun too. And I still like, probably from the get-go, the tri-fin setup, but this 2+1 stabilizer, NBS stabilizer, and another company's twin fins does work well. I really like that turn. Noticing riding this is the 6'2" Torq, so this is the second to biggest one. I think it is perfect. I could have got the 5'10", which is the same as another board, but I just wanted a more board. I like that turn. But you can see it really just rides very shortboard-y. I think it does look a little bigger when I'm watching this footage. It's like kind of, like the board looks a little almost like the Firewire board. But it is a lot smaller, it's a foot smaller. As you see on this one, nice little left wrap, schwack. It's great at the little roundhouse to schwack. And this is just a really nice wave. But the Torq material also, it's very hard and dense, I realize. It almost could hurt you if you're not careful. There's a nice little hit. I think I fall on this one. Oh yeah, so I was going real big on this. One. Because you can really kind of throw it around, and with this 2+1 kind of twin fin stabilizer, this tail was loose. I like this turn. And then it's fun with just, you can really let the fins go out. It has like a smaller swallowtail. So it really ends up kind of being like a wider nose, short board, but a bigger swallowtail, but it's a shorter one. So it doesn't ride as much as a retro fish. It rides more like a performance fish, or even kind of like a short board. So it's a nice little just kind of quick roundhouse turn. Another little one. See, it's just really fun. Like those little turns, super fun with that. See what happens here? Oh, I like that turn. That tail can really throw some buckets. I think also it's kind of good for front or back foot surfers. And really, if you just want some more paddle power, and then once you're on the wave, the board rides really well. I don't like riding with the track pad. You could, and I see a lot of people do, but I like riding it without a track pad, because you can see all my boards now, I go no track pad, because I like the feel. There's the sneaky Firewire Seasides on the bottom left over there. I like the feel of no track pad more than a track pad now, and I'm kind of addicted to it. Oh, and we have some special guests coming up. We have Rota and Kevo, two special guests in this brand boy / hero's journey video. You know, you'll have to look them up. I don't want to give away too much of their identities, but they're pretty big deals around here. So Yeah, they're gonna be shredding here soon, so stick around because they're gonna be shredding even harder than I am. All right, that was a nice turn. And also shout out Surfline. I mean, the secret's out. This is a couple different angles of the Surfline cam, and it worked out nice because I got the little cutting and cutting out. And then, oh, there's a little wipeout, And here's a nice little roundhouse. Oh, another wipeout, not good, not good. That was nice. It's funny, I almost prefer going backside these days. I do prefer it, I think, because the twin fin, which I've moved all my boards to twin fin now, essentially. As you'll see, it just, if you figure out the board right enough, it can really kind of do a nice backside. Whereas front side, for me, it's a little different. It's hard to know the reasons. All right, we got the special guest coming up. Here's Rota shredding. Here's another one. There's a little air. Bah! I saw that in real time, real life, and I was like, no, that was sick. That was sick. So we have Kevo and Rota shredding now, and I'll continue to kind of talk about the pod mod a little bit more. So really, if this board's still around, it's funny because it is kind of an ancient shape now in all these new shapes. And you'll look around and you'll see a lot of shapes now still have the pod mod kind of feel. I think the twin fin template has taken over, so I don't think necessarily the pod mod is the best twin fin board. I'm just trying to make it work here, but I think if they redesigned it as a twin fin, they would, you know, just do what they have to do and it would work great. But a lot of these new twin fin shapes are pretty much a pod mod mixed with kind of more of a retro fish as well. And then the twins put where they need to be. Yeah, so that was just, you know, enjoying some extra shred fests-ing. So as we continue to watch our boy shred in the background, another great thing about just the pod is, you know, I went up 4 inches on the epoxy Torq version, and really it didn't feel that crazier. I mean, the main thing I realized is the material when you're stepping on it is a little, it's very dense and it doesn't really have much give. So it's kind of like, you can almost just hurt yourself stepping on it kind of too hard. So when I stepped up to the bigger pod mod, because I wanted more board, it surfed really similar. And really in the end though, I think I do prefer the PU material, which it is naughtier for the environment, unfortunately. It's a resource that's non-renewable. So it's natural to surfing's history of how boards felt, just typical fiberglass over foam, polyurethane feel of a board. And this Torq material, it's like exclusive to their company. And I don't really know what's going on there, but it's, I'm still figuring it out. I've only ridden the board 3 times, I think. And I also did get it on a pretty good deal. I got it for, I think, 300 with the board bag. And it's in great condition. So been making steals on the pods and the pod mods. Compared to the Seaside and Beyond, it's essentially like a shorter, more shreddable one. But it does work better as a tri-fin, whereas the Seaside and Beyond is actually a quad fin, which I ride as a twin fin. So the twin fin, it's funny, I don't have like a dedicated twin fin board, but now all my boards are essentially twin fins. And we'll just watch a little bit more shredding here. Yeah guys, just kind of wanted to go through and some pros and cons of the Pod Mod. Some cons maybe are when the waves kind of get throwy, and it's like a throwy barrel just based on the nose being kind of flat and not having the most rocker, and it's just a wider nose. You can dig your nose in a little easier than a typical more rockered shortboard that's kind of made more for a wedgy, throwy barrel. The Pod Mod, but I've surfed the Pod Mod in Bocas del Toro in Panama, and it was super wedgy barrels, and I thought I surfed it well, and it actually performed really well. With someone even commenting like, oh, you surfed that Pod Mod well in these waves, which the waves really, it's not like you shouldn't have a Pod Mod there. Literally do not have a shortboard in my quiver right now. Even the last 5 to 7 years, I just ride these alternative kind of fishier boards and even bigger, long, fun boards, and just kind of been a fun adaptation, I think, to surfing. And now I'm used to riding a bigger board. And when I ride a smaller board, it feels like a skim board. It feels like I can't really work it like I want. So it'd almost be a learning curve to ride a shorter, smaller board again. You just want like kind of a staple, classic performance fish. You can't really go wrong. The Torq, I'm still figuring it out about the material, but I think still, if you want a board that's gonna last forever, it's not a bad move, because this board is gonna last for a long time, knock on wood, because you can just tell it's the materials, the density, the thickness, the weight. It's just gonna last, and that's kind of what it's made to do. So, well, I think we've ran out of footage of the boys shredding, Rota and Kevo. Thanks guys for lending your skills to this hero's journey. We dove down into the Merrick Channel Islands pod and now Pod Mod board, and it's a sick shape. So if you just have an interest in checking them out, or you see one on OfferUp and you think, oh, should I pull the trigger? Pull the trigger, pull the trigger. And thank you for watching another episode of Hero's Journey. Till next time, peace.